Hello there guys, this is Christy Liss from Dostoevsky in Space, and I'm here today with my middle grade March TBR. Now, I wasn't even planning to film today, but it's friggin' beautiful in California, so I just couldn't resist coming outside and filming. So here we are. Krista at Books and Jams and Katie from Life Between Words just announced all of the challenges. I'm just so excited. I already had gone to the library and picked up like a ton of books because I knew it was coming up and I wanted to be able to film this TBR fairly early and get it out to you guys. So if you don't know about middle grade March, basically all you have to do in order to take part is read one middle grade book. And I'll leave the information videos below. And you should totally check out their channels. Krista in Books and Jams is pretty much the reason why I joined BookTube, because of her middle grade March. I actually took part in it last year, even though I hadn't joined BookTube yet. As a content creator, I was watching her channel frequently because I was just so pumped to find a Christian reviewer. I hadn't found any Christian booktubers before then, so I was just really excited to find Krista's channel. And it wasn't until I started BookTube that I really realized how much I loved kids books because they just chill me out. This is probably my favorite reading challenge-a-thon, whatever you want to call it, on BookTube. Although Boo to You was also really fun. Anyway, let's get started. So first of all, what I really want to do is I want to read some books that my husband loves. We picked out a bunch of books at the libraries together that he loved as a kid. He's read so much middle grade. So I have a bunch of them here and he's already read them. He sat down and read them in like 2 days, a whole stack of them that we got. The sun is going away. I'll just have to make this quick. So we went through all of the Newbery winners and honor books that he has read and picked out a few for me to read as well because I really like reading the more literary style of middle grade. I think we found some great ones. And we tried as much as we could to pick some that actually fit Krista's and Katie's challenges. Oh yeah, I didn't mention the challenges. The challenges are books with a mystery or a mystery plot, books with a film or TV adaptation, books set in another country, books with some kind of storyteller or like a book about books and stories, and a book with illustrations. And we tried to find some of Kev's favorites that matched those. So first we have Ramona Quimby, age 8, and I've been reading these a little bit in Spanish actually. I went through this phase where I was just like, I have to be doing something productive before bed, which is probably why I couldn't sleep. So anyway, I read one of the Ramona Quimby books in Spanish and that was good, and now I've moved on to Harry Potter, but I still haven't finished the Ramona books. Even though I loved watching the TV show when I was a kid, my dad was a mailman and he would bring them home from a library in another county where he worked. So good memories associated with Ramona. And then we have Charlotte's Web, which, yeah, I've never read it. We have The Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I haven't read any Roald Dahl at all, which is kind of insane, but this is one of Kev's favorites, so I'm pretty excited. Oh right, so this one matches the illustrations prompt, which actually so does this. And there's also adaptions of both of those and the Ramona Quimby movie, so I'm good on the adaption challenge for sure. And we have Old Yeller, which has a storyteller. We thought about doing Where the Red Fern Grows, but I already read that earlier this year. But apparently Old Yeller is somebody kind of looking back on their past, similar to Where the Red Fern Grows. So the storyteller makes it count for the book about books. And then we have, oh, another one. Trumpet of the Swan, also by E.B. White, the same author of Charlotte's Web. I've pretty much been saving up books that he likes in order to read them during middle grade March because I really wanted to like catch up with him. He read so much more quantity when he was a kid. I really like did deep dives in my favorite books and I read them over and over as a kid. It wasn't really until I hit young adulthood that I started reading more widely, more different authors. But he read like a lot of different authors. And then for the mystery trope, potentially we have like a huge collection of Boxcar Children books because Kev and I both enjoyed these when we were young, so we had books left over and we were like, why get rid of them? We'll have kids one day, right? And then we also have Hatchet, which is set in another country. However, I have tried to read Hatchet before and I was just so not a fan, so we'll see if I actually end up doing that. Okay, and then I have some other books that I have been kind of piling up in anticipation of middle grade March as well, and one of those is The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. And I actually nominated this one for my Christian Critics Book Club a while ago, and it did get some votes, like a couple people wanted to read it, but another book won for that. So I didn't get to read it and I haven't read it yet, but I was like, just wait till middle grade March, then you can read it. It also has illustrations. I believe it's set in England, so it is a different country for me. I also have a very nice copy of, you're gonna laugh when you see this, the annotated Hobbit, which has illustrations and stuff in it. So I feel kind of dumb because there's the Lord of the Rings readathon 2020 going on, which I'm actually sort of taking part in. I'm reading like the Silmarillion and some other like works that were published posthumously by Christopher Tolkien, mainly because like I want to understand the world better. But the Hobbit is actually a middle grade book, and I just figure, you know, I'm not going to get a better chance to read it than during middle grade March. I would love to read it with all of the annotations and illustrations. I should have read it in January when the rest of the Lord of the Rings 2020 people were reading The Hobbit, but I saved it for this month. Whatever. I've also been wanting to read Wind, Sand, and Stars by the same author as The Little Prince, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name because it would definitely come out wrong. But this was recommended to me by Pickles Reads after she watched my 2019 favorite books video because The Little Prince was in that video. And so ever since then, she said it's really well written. So I was like, awesome. Okay, I gotta read that for middle grade March. Now, do you see, I have a problem. I'm like hoarding middle grade books now. I have way too many. There's no way I'll be able to read them all. So we'll see what I actually get done. But that's not all. Nope, there's more. We also have Voyages of Dr. Dolittle, which I would like to read this first book and the second book at some point soon because I really want to see the movie. It looks pretty cute to me. I don't know, we'll have to see. I really do like Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Mans because it nailed his character and he was so funny. We've seen other movies with him in them and it was kind of like, well, that's a little strange. And I would never think of him as like a warm and fuzzy children's novel adaptation type author, but he's so funny that I'm willing to give it a chance. So I would like to read this one and the second book. We also have The Book of Boy, which is the readathon pick. Everybody is reading it as a group read, and this looks so cute. There's a couple like medieval kids books that sound really cute like this. I don't really know the first thing about it except that it counts for the mystery plot, so good enough for me. Oh, and I think it won the Newbery honor. Like, it didn't win the award in 2019, but it did win like an honorable mention essentially. Okay, and then I have a few books by Nancy Farmer because this year I read, dang, I don't remember what it's called. I'll put the picture for you here. I loved it. And I remember loving Sea of Trolls when I was a kid by the same author. So I'm just like, oh, I want to read everything by her. And she has some really interesting books set in Africa. I think they both won Newbery honors, or at least one of them I think did win an award. But anyways, A Girl Named Disaster, that one's set somewhere in Africa. And then The Ear, the Eye, and the Arm, which is Afrofuturistic middle grade sci-fi. Like, what? Set in Zimbabwe. That sounds pretty cool too. I'm pretty much willing to give anything that she writes a shot because I just really, really loved this book. Whatever it was, I'm sorry I can't remember. I'm running on very low sleep. And then finally, I have 2 more books. There's so many more books that I could have had here that I would just love to read. However, I am not that fast of a reader, even with middle grade books. My husband can read 3 in a day, and I can read like 1 a week, maybe. But anyways, I do have The Island of the Blue Dolphins. There's a bunch of Scott Odell books on the Newbery Awards and Honors list, which is cool. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the Nancy Farmer books, obviously they count for out of country for me because I don't live in Africa. So if you don't live in Africa, those could be a good pick for you too. And we have Johnny Tremain, which is a book that I read in school, and I don't remember much about it except something about a hand being burned and war, and that's all I remember. I don't know. I just want to reread it. It's set in colonial America. I like things set in colonial America. So that is my very fast TBR. I know I didn't give you much of an idea of what the books are about, but I haven't read most of them yet, so there's no point in me trying. If you are doing middle grade March, oh, please let me know. If you have a favorite middle grade, please let me know. Maybe I'll pick it up. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. I would really love to hear from you down below if you like middle grade. Tell me your favorite childhood middle grade. All right guys, that's it. Thanks again for watching. This is so fun and I just really appreciate you guys. It's just so much fun to talk with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, it would really help me out if you like or comment answering my questions or talking about anything else, and subscribe, and also hit the bell for notifications if you want to be notified whenever I make a new video. Okay guys, take care and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.